All right, welcome everyone. I am David Wilson, the Business Savage. Welcome to the Savvy Show, broadcasting live on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on Twitter, and on Twitch. Yes, the second to last show for the season on the Savvy Show, the Black History of Business. We are in the pre-show, so if you are joining us for this portion of our show, this is the pre-show before the actual launch of our live internationally broadcast radio show on IBGR.Network at 3 p.m. So I know you're excited about that. Again, my name is David Wilson, the Business Savage, if this is your first time here. And you can call me Savvy for short. Okay. Today's show is keeping right in line with the Black History of Business, how Black entrepreneurs have changed the world. I'm going to tell you my origin story of networking, my origin story for networking. And it involves part of my origin story. So if you've been on here long enough, you've heard me talk about networking. You've heard me talk about BNI. You've heard me talk about all the networking stories. And we're going to tell some of those stories today. But the key, and I haven't said this, I've saved this towards the end of the season for a reason, because before all of that, and I don't want to give it away. But I will say this. I'm not going to give away the history of it. I'm not going to give away the information behind it. But today, you can see it. It's on. Right? It's like, oh, what do you mean? Give it away? It's the title, dog. It's the title of the show. Thank you, Dr. George C. Fraser. Absolutely. So this gentleman is the part of my origin story, because, and we'll talk about it later when the show comes on, but it's not because of him, but has a lot to do with Rudy Wilson, my father. I'll give this piece away. Rudy Wilson, my father, was introduced me to Dr. Fraser way back. This was back, we'll just say a long time ago when I was a kid. And because of that, it helped me to understand what was possible. So we'll talk about that in about 12 minutes. So 12 minutes to live. First, I want to thank everybody who is new to the Savvy Show. So welcome. If you're new on Facebook, if you're new on LinkedIn, if you're new on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, let me know in the comments. Let me know how new you are. And if this is your first time, if you're excited about it, everybody say, yeah. I didn't hear anything. Okay. Well, just put it in the comments. That's cool. No problem. But if you're a returning visitor, a returning viewer to the pre-show, and a returning listener or viewer to what will be the Savvy Show live at 3 p.m., thank you so much for riding with me on this journey. So thank you very much. We are broadcasting live from the capital of the South. The capital of the South, Richmond, Virginia, USA. Indeed. All right, 12 minutes to live. I would be remiss if I did not take time to at least a couple more times this season thank my longtime in-studio engineer who, he doesn't do much, but when he is called to do something, he has saved, in the span of 7 seasons, probably one show. So, and that makes a difference. So thank you to my in-studio engineer, my friend, Steve Namin Eufemi. Steve, thank you. Thank you, Steve Namin Eufemi. And a lot of people ask, well, how come Steve has never been on video? Steve has been on video. He was supposed, but he's definitely afraid of being on video. He doesn't like to be on the mic at all. And we actually tried a dual video. We brought Steve in, and we had technical difficulties, and it was terrible. And I think after that, right? Yeah. So after that, it was just like it wasn't meant to be, and he'll just stay off camera and he'll stay off the mic. But he does a great job in the studio. I want to point out to you that if you are watching this right now, you have a copy of, more than likely, not on Twitch, but you can go to IBGR.Network /David-Wilson. I'll put that in the chat. If you go there, you can get a copy of the show notes. And in the show notes, there's a link to actually get the book that started it all for me with networking. I'll give you that now. It's Success Runs in Our Race by Dr. George Fraser. So you can pick that up there. There's a link throughout where you can purchase your very own copy of Success Runs in Our Race. That's our featured book for this show. 9 minutes to live. All right, make sure. So what we're going to be talking about today, we're going to be talking about that origin story, but we're also going to answer some mail about networking, some networking tips and tricks and what have you, as it relates to how I got started in networking, but really highlighting Dr. Fraser and how he helped me see what was possible. We're not going to talk much about Success Runs in Our Race, that book, like the writings in that book, but I do want to dedicate this episode to Dr. Fraser because he made a difference in my life thanks to my father. So thank you. So and yeah, I didn't know it at the time, but inspired me to go on and believe that I could network. Drove me to an organization called BNI. Probably inspired me to write my book on networking. I hate networking events, to develop my program on connecting anyone to anyone, anywhere, for any reason, without the fear of rejection, the no rejection connection. So all of that. And it's amazing how just one touch, right, can change everything. My wife and I watch The Twilight Zone a lot, and there's these episodes about cats going back in time and changing stuff, and so it's we think we have to do so much to change the course of someone. And you go back in time and you convince my father not to give me that book, Success Runs in Our Race, and for all you know, anything could have happened, right? So my point is, it's cool how the little things really make a big difference. So just wanted to say that. So we have two more shows left in season 7. And want to make sure that we really maximize what we're doing for this season. Again, our theme is the Black history of business. Just really wanted to highlight some of the folks in our community that have made an impact on the world, and some of the folks in our community that have made an impact on my life as well. So thank you. And like I said, we'll get to some mail. If you have any comments, questions, you can put them in the chat, put them in the comment section. Also send me emojis. Love to see emojis. Love to see positive comments. So if you have a positive comment, put them in the chat. If you have a negative comment, you probably just don't even bother, because I'm just going to delete it. We're going to delete it. It's not, and it's going to be quick. So it's not going to be like, oh, we'll wait till the midpoint of the show to delete it. We'll delete it quickly, and no one will see it. So all right, 6 minutes to live. For those of you who have not been here on the pre-show before, we're going to go to, when we go to avatar like this, I'm still here because the circle is vibrating. We're just going to do some sound checks and lighting checks and whatnot. I think our lighting is good. We're going to check our downtown mic shortly when we go to avatar, and then we'll come right back, and then we'll be ready to launch at approximately and officially 2 minutes after 3 p.m. Eastern time. So we're going to go to avatar right quick. All right, Steve. Steve, soundboard check, please. That was a big deal. Yeah. It's behind the scenes stuff. All right, so I know Dr. Fraser has a big presence on LinkedIn. So we should have tagged him on our show today. Not because, I just want to recognize him. He's had a tremendous impact on our community, and he showed me personally what networking could be for us. So again, thank you for that. 4 minutes alive. Give you a little fun fact on Dr. Fraser and me. In 1996, Dr. Fraser graduated from Dartmouth College, the Minority Business Executive Program at Tuck of Dartmouth College. This is 1996. We are brethren. I graduated from the same program in 2008, which is cool. So we do have that in common. Awesome. All right. I'm going to step away. I'm just going to go to wardrobe real quick, and we'll be right back. Stand by. Give me all the love I need. All right, 2 minutes and 30 seconds to live. Oh, hold on. Let's cue that music up. That's dope. Alrighty. So starting to get 2 minutes to live. Starting to get a little bit, just a little bit sad, just because this is the second to last show of the Savvy Show, second to last show in season 7 on IBGR. So it's been certainly been a great run, and I'm excited and thankful to be here. So it's been great. All right, if you see scrolling along the bottom, one of our sponsors, that's Fund You Up. Fund You Up helps small and mid-sized businesses get funding, both secured and unsecured, when traditional means are not available. So if your business has a challenge in one of three areas, a challenge with credit, it's not good enough, a challenge with collateral, either there's no collateral, there's something wrong with your collateral, or there's not enough collateral, or a challenge with time, either time in business, you haven't been in business long enough, or time in which the funds are needed, you need your funds too quick, then Fund You Up can help when a bank says no. So Fund You Up helps across multiple industries in getting funding for business owners in an average of 24 to 48 hours. If you need funding for your business, go to fundyouup.com. That's F as in Frank, U, N as in Nancy, D as in David, U, U, P as in Peter.com. Go to the top right corner. If you're on a PC, go to the middle of your screen if you're on a phone and just hit the button that says Get Pre-Qualified Now and see how much you can qualify for, that you can get for your business to help keep it running smoothly. All right, 15 seconds to live. Here we go, folks. Let's have a good show. 7, 6. Downtown is good. Here we go. Yes, indeed. You know what today is? It's Savvy Day. And we're going to change the world. You ready? Are you ready? Then say my name. Savvy. Let's go. Tune in on the 8.
What price are you talking about, sir? The price of freedom.
Too much for him.
Yo, only one sperm cell survives. Out of millions, hustle and strive. The trades we learn by the buildings. In Hell's Kitchen, projects burn the children. Some get locked, lay in the box with no feeling. On my back, staring at the ceiling. Fruit dealing, sweat dripping, hands together, my knees kneeling. Where was God when my pops fell to his death bleeding? Was he trapped like Martin in his last crop of freedom?
All right. Welcome, everyone. My name is David Wilson, the Business Savage. Welcome to the Savage Show, broadcasting live from the capital of the South, Richmond, Virginia, USA, on IBGR.Network, Profit Radio. We are in the midst of season 7 on the Savage Show, the Black history of business. Today, we are thanking a gentleman who has made a difference in my life. We are thank you, Dr. George C. Fraser. We're going to tell you a little bit more about him later on. The theme of this, so that's actually, Dr. Fraser is the Black entrepreneur. I'm going to call him that, Black entrepreneur that has changed the world for me. And we're going to get into how he did that by in the beginning of our show, telling my origin story for networking. We all have an origin story, right? So I've told my origin story for my life. We have an origin story for other aspects of our lives. And the one I'm going to tell today, at least in the first part of the show, is about networking in an attempt to highlight Dr. Fraser. So it's a pleasure to be with you all today. First and foremost, thank you. First and foremost, I want to thank any first-time listeners who are with us on IBGR.Network and first-time viewers who are with us broadcasting live via video on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Welcome, first-timers. Welcome, first-timers. That's right. Agent Smith is not watching. That is true. If you are a returning listener on IBGR.Network and you're a returning listener, viewer, on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch, thank you very much. We appreciate that. If you're watching us on video, please comment like, share, follow, subscribe, and all that stuff. If you're listening on the radio, and you're driving, just pull over. If you're in your office, just take a break and scream out loud, "Savvy!" Yeah, just like that. Hey, I heard it. That was cool. Last but not least, I want to thank my in-studio engineer, who's been with me from day one. The jack of probably 2 trades or so. Steve, Namin, you feel me? Yes, Steve, thank you. I'm kidding. Don't write me. Don't worry, I'm just kidding. Okay, let's get to the origin story for networking. So if you've been with me for any time, right? If you've seen the show, I talk about networking. I talk about my book, I Hate Networking Events. It's endorsed by Dr. Ivan Meisner, the founder of BNI. I say that. I don't say that. I'm not plugging that. I'm not. That's not why I'm saying it. It's relevant. It's a good book. It's helped a lot of people. But that's not my point today. It's also not my point to talk about the No Rejection Connection, which is my method, my program to help anyone connect to anyone, anywhere, for any reason, without the fear of rejection. You can find that at thenorejectionconnection.com. So it's not my point in what I'm saying. This part of the show was actually catalyzed by a piece of mail we got from Toby. So Toby asked, "How did you first become interested in networking, Savvy?" So I had to think about that. So the obvious is when I got involved with BNI, but that's not true. That's not true at all. It was way before that. And then when I really sat down to think about it, I was like, okay, it's amazing how the little things that we experience in our lives can make such a big difference. And I thought about it, and it made me think of my father. And whenever I think of my father, I always think good thoughts. Whenever I think of my mother, I think mostly good thoughts. Some it's, I mean, if you knew, if you would understand, if you knew. Anyway, it's a good thing. It's so my father was really, really big into reading, really, really big into personal development, self-help, if you will. My father got me my first set of encyclopedias, and he was. Wait, why did you laugh? Why encyclopedias? Why is that even fun? Okay, so for those of you who don't, encyclopedias were like the book form of Wikipedia. Okay. You get it now? That makes sense, right? Steve is like, wow, the book form of Wikipedia. It must have been really, anyway. So he would get me books. Get me books on science. He would get me books on history. He would get me books on all kinds of stuff. And I would actually read them. And I would read them because I was that type of kid who was interested in learning stuff, it just fascinated me. And I trusted him to get me stuff that made sense and that was gonna help me. So 2 books in particular that are germane to this show, not Jackson, but are germane to this show that I recall. So the first he gave me was some call it the blueprint. So the blueprint for success, period. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. So I put a link in the show notes if you want to go in there and click on that link and pick up the book, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And of course, that had a huge impact on my life. But then there was another one, and I didn't quite understand this like I understand it now. My father explained it to me, and it was a book by Dr. George C. Fraser. The name of the book was Success Runs in Our Race. And he handed that to me. And I'm a little kid. So my father started getting me books at 8, 9, like books like that. You know, I don't mean like I had The Snowy Day when I was like 3, but I mean, that's not The Snowy Day. So shout out to Ezra Jack Keats, author of the Snowy Day. Love The Snowy Day, but you know, maybe not as profound as Think and Grow Rich, maybe not as profound as Success Runs in Our Race, but I love the book. Anyway, I remember being moved by the title, and my father sat me down and he said to me, I want you to remember this. Remember this for the rest of your life. Remember this when I'm gone. Remember this. And it was, I could recognize it was one of those moments. And I want you to remember from where we come. And he was speaking specifically about, you know, he's talking to his black son as a black father in America. And it's very important to deliver this message. And he made it very clear to me that I could do whatever I put my mind to. And this was proof of it. Candidly, I did not read the book Success Runs in Our Race until much later in my life. So I didn't understand what Dr. Fraser was trying to say beyond the title of the book. But as an 8, 9-year-old kid, all I needed to understand was the title of the book. You see, for me to grasp what the point my father was trying to make, and he just wanted me to understand that anything was possible. The forward of the book, I want to make sure my mind is not failing me. The forward of the book was by Les Brown, and you know, I didn't know who Les Brown was. I didn't know who George Fraser was as a kid, and I grew to know who they both would end up being and the impact they would both have on my life. So that's why I'm dedicating. While this episode is going to be, this whole show is going to be on networking and tips and tricks that I've picked up along the way, I want to make sure I pay homage to what Dr. Fraser's book has done for me. So thank you. If you go to the show notes, you can get your own copy of Success Runs in Our Race and check out what he was talking about. All right, so when we come back from the break, we're going to dive into some mail, and we're going to talk about networking and your brand and how all that impacts and all that good stuff. So we'll see you on the other side.
The price of freedom is death.
Yo, only one sperm cell survives out of millions hustling.
All right, good set. Excellent. Good job, Steve. Hey, Steve, good catch on that. That was really good. I appreciate that. So, yeah, so that's 3. That's 3. Historically, that's 3 saves for Steve. Okay, I'm just kidding. Steve does a great job. Okay, keep the comments coming. Agent Smith is not in the building. 1 minute to live. 1 minute to live. 1 minute to live. 1 minute to live. Agent Smith is not in the building. Okay. If you have any questions on networking, definitely put them in the chat. Remember that success runs in our race is available. Just go to the show notes. There's a link there. Just click on that, and we're gonna really dig into some networking tips and tricks and such as we pay homage to Dr. Fraser. So that was again, it's important to me to do that. 30 seconds to live. 30 seconds to live. Okay. Do we, Steve? Do we have the mail? What's the question for the next segment? What do you mean? What question? We have to. No, I mean we got 17 seconds to live. Where's the question? All right, I'll put. Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. Here we go. 4 seconds. 3, 2. Here we go.
All of you chumps are gonna bow when I whip him. All of you. I know you got it. I know you got it, Dick. But the man's in trouble. I'm gonna show you how good I am. Ladies and gentlemen, you now rocking with the best. It's the great incredible.
Yeah, I love the energy. Welcome back to the Savvy Show. I am David Wilson, the Business Savage, broadcasting to you live from the capital of the South, Richmond, Virginia, USA, on the Savvy Show. We're in season 7, the Black History of Business, and welcome back. We are thanking the great Dr. George C. Fraser for being part of my networking origin story. With that, the theme of our show today, as we give him his roses for changing the world as a Black entrepreneur, we're going to answer some mail that has come in for us to talk about different aspects of networking. All right, so let's go. You said it's here. Okay. Oh wow, it's blank. Okay. All right, so this came in from Susie. All right. How should I dress when I go networking? Okay. How should I dress when I go networking? So here's what I like to say. So do you want to be comfortable? Yes. Not comfortable like pajama bottoms and like your favorite oversized t-shirt. But here's how I start that answer. And it's something called rep your brand. So rep your brand. What is your brand? So we have to define that. What is your brand? Your brand is who you authentically are in the role you're playing. Now, so that could get a little murky. That could get a little fuzzy. So some may say, well, I am a pajama bottoms, oversized t-shirt kind of cat. Okay. I would say to you, if that's who you really are, it's going to work or it's not going to work. If that's your authentic self, I suppose you should rock that. But if you notice, the applause were like, there's a certain level of professionalism that we also have to, at least for me, that's how I teach it. That's how I coach it. You should be professional first and foremost. I think when I say rep your brand and be authentic, it's kind of like, I'm going to rock the Swest, the sweater vest, right? The Swest isn't for everybody. But if the Swest is your thing, you should rock it. but a Sweat is still professional. Or if you want to rock red pants, orange pants, if you want to rock a certain type of like a hair bow or certain type of glasses, that's I think the more so the brand. But so going back to Susie, start with professional. Okay, so start there and then figure out what you have to do to rep your brand and just rep that. So you can do that with logo wear, you can do that with certain items of clothing, and such. Okay, so hopefully that answers Susie's question. And we're done with the segment. So when we come back, oh wait, no, we got. I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. I know we have 8 minutes. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. We have plenty of questions. We have plenty of questions. This one comes in from Devonte. Is that right? Devonte? That's pretty cool. Okay. So Devonte says, so Savvy, how do you rep your brand? Well, good question. Good question. So how do I rep my brand? Over the years, here's how I came up. So I was taught early on to, here's another takeaway. Here's a nugget. I'm going to put it in the comments as I say it. So just the part. Okay, so what does that mean? Whatever it means, right? Just the part. If you are, let's say you work at a bank and you specialize in closing multi-million-dollar business deals, or you're a financial advisor and you represent clients that are worth hundreds of millions of dollars, jammies may not be the right way to go. Now, that said, if all your clients walk around in pajamas all day, well then, that will be your brand. So dress the part, number one. Secondly, number two, know your target. Know your target market. And that in the chat. Know your target market. So going back to what I just said, if all your clients wear pajamas, then that's your target market. You should know that, and you know what appeals to them. If all your clients wear suits, then that's what you should be wearing. If you don't know who your target market is yet, or you have not established, you have not defined your target market, I would just go with dress the part. I don't know that you can be too dressed up. I don't know that you can be too dressed up. At least that's what my grandfather taught me. So, thinking back, well, why is your brand your brand? So why is it that you wear a suit every day, or at least a sport coat and slacks and whatnot? Why is that? And that's what I was taught. That's what I was taught by my grandfather, Jerry Hodge. In fact, my first suit was an old suit of his, and he taught me how to hook it up and whatnot. And as I got older and started going to like dinners and award ceremonies and whatnot, among my grandfather, grandmother, mother, and father, they were like, look, when you go to these events, It wasn't, well, when you go to these events, you have to look your best and you have to make sure you present well. It was, yeah, look, when you go to these events, don't embarrass us and don't be looking stupid and wear stuff that don't matter. I mean, that's really what it was. That's really what it was. So it was that trauma that has created this self-consciousness and insecurity that you see before you today. Okay. Thanks, Mom. No, but really, that's and we all have a story. It's part of my origin story, right? But anyway, that's where it came from. So my grandfather taught me about ties, how to tie a tie. I got my first tie pin from my grandfather. I got my first collar pin from my grandfather. I got my first collar stays from my grandfather. And I've told the story on here before about hanging with Mr. Fashion in Asbury Park, New Jersey. Shout out. This is all relevant. This is not about me. But that's where it all starts. So what I want you to do is I want you to think about where it started for you, right? Where did it start for you? And then just go with that. Ultimately, I'm comfortable like this. I'm comfortable wearing a suit. I'm comfortable wearing my white shirt. I'm comfortable with all that I have on. My grandfather also taught me, never leave the house without your shoes shined. My mother and my grandmother, told a different story. They were like, the first thing that women look at when they see a man, they look at his hands and they look at his feet. So they look at his hands, fingernails specifically, to see if they're clean, and they look at his shoes to see if they are shined. And a term that came up in my family was, you don't want shoes that look. Some people are saying, they already said it, ran over. It's I know grammatically that doesn't seem correct, but that's what it was. All right. When you present at a networking event, so let's go back to networking. When you present at a networking event, you want to look professional. You want to look professional. You want to be comfortable, because you're going to be meeting people that maybe you don't know. And you're going to have the opportunity to make a first impression, just like they will have an opportunity to make a first impression. And just think about that. There's only some of that you can control. So control the controllables, control what you can control, and show up. Show up and rep your brand. You plan the event. You are prepared when you go, and you show up. You show up. A great blueprint for planning your next and subsequent networking events is a book I wrote called I Hate Networking Events. It's available on Amazon, and you can. It's endorsed by Dr. Ivan Meisner of BNI, and it's a great way to plan what to do before, during, and after all of your networking events. And it's been instrumental in helping a lot of people. It helped me as I developed it over the last quarter century. So thank you for that. Thanks for writing in to Susie and Devante. When we come back from the break, we're going to move into our next segment. And it's kind of, we're going to talk about something that happens during the event. We're going to touch on that. We got some mail behind that. And we'll see you on the other side. Savvy. All right. Good set there. Oh, all right. Video's good. Audio's good. Yes. Check. Good. All right. Thank you, Steve. One moment. All right. 1:30. 1:30 to live. 1:30 to live. All right. So if you check your show notes, what problem are you solving? That's coming up. What problem are you solving? And it reminded me of a video I did. I should have put it in the show notes, but I couldn't find it. Let's see. Elbow cough, elbow cough. I don't remember what I said exactly. Show up and rep your brand. We're going to talk about what problem are you solving? 45 minutes. I don't know. But thank you for the comment. I guess maybe, I don't know. Maybe that was a COVID thing. I'm not sure. All right. Thank you to Facebook. Thank you to LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch for transmitting the Savvy Show live to the masses. 20 seconds to live. 20 seconds to live. 20 seconds to live. 20 seconds to live. 10 seconds to live. All right, here we go. 3, 2.
All of you chumps are gonna bow when I whoop him. All of you, I know you got him. I know you got him, Dick. But the man's in trouble. I'm gonna show you how good I am.
Ladies and gentlemen, you now rocking with the best. It's the great incredible.
Welcome back to the Savvy Show. I am David Wilson, the Business Savage. No, really, I am David Wilson, the Business Savage, broadcasting live from the capital of the South, Richmond, Virginia, USA, on season 7 of the Savvy Show, the Black History of Business, where we are paying homage today to the author of Success Runs in Our Race, the great Dr. George C. Fraser. So thank you, sir. We are talking about networking, some tips and tricks. We are digging deep into the mailbag to pull out some interesting correspondences about networking and how we do it, and just kind of leaning on the 25 years of experience in succeeding and failing miserably and failing even worse. Some of the stuff, so I can give it to you, and you don't have to make those mistakes. All right. So, Steve? What is the title of this segment or this episode? Okay. Oh wait, no, that's wrong. Oh yeah. What problem are you solving? What problem are you solving? So, what does this mean? Well, let's get our first piece of mail. Our first piece of mail for this segment comes from Taella. So Taella states, help. Actually, she exclaims, because with an exclamation point, help. People don't seem to care about what I do. They actually glaze over, literally, as I'm talking to them at events. What do I do? Well, that's terrible. That is terrible. We are going to help Taella. Is it Taella? I think it's Taella. We are going to help Taella with this problem. And where it starts, and we see this in networking. I see this in networking all the time. We kind of miss the mark on what we're actually doing towards the end of the show. So in the last segment, we're really going to hammer home what we should be doing with our networking efforts. And it sounds to me, when you say people don't seem to care about what I do, it reminds me of a video I posted some time ago. And it went a little something like this. Nobody cares about your name. Nobody cares about your business. Nobody cares about where your business is located. Nobody cares about where your office is. Nobody cares about how cute your office is. Nobody cares about how long you've been in business, where you're located, where you're from. Nobody cares about the title of your company. Nobody cares about your website. Nobody cares about your logo. Nobody cares about your business card. Nobody cares about any of that until you give them a reason to care. And it's that simple. So, without having been with you at these events, I bet that I would think that our focus is a bit off. And it sounds like you are focusing too much on telling people what it is you do, as opposed to finding out about them. So how do we do that? So the old saying goes, God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason, because we're to listen twice as much as we speak, right? That's how it goes. So try this. If people seem to glaze over while you are telling them about your business, consider that you may be talking too much. And try this instead. So try to ask more questions and listen more. So I'm not judging you. It's not judgmental. It's not, I'm not being critical, but this I think would help. So ask more questions. So instead of saying, hi, my name is Tyella. What is your name? Oh, my name is Steve. Oh, that's great, Steve. My company does this, and this, and we help this. Don't do that. Just try this. Oh, well, Steve, what do you do? Let Steve tell you. How long have you been doing that? What do you like most about doing that? And then here are some questions that will really open things up for you, which are, what is your, and this will continue to make more sense as the show progresses and as we get into that last segment. What is your biggest challenge in your business currently? Or what is the thing that is keeping you up at night? And then just be quiet. Be quiet. Let Steve tell you. Now you might be saying, well, all right, Sav, that's all well and good. But what if he says something like, let's say I am in payroll processing. And what if he says something like, well, I'm really concerned about my car breaking down on Interstate 80. Okay. I don't fix cars, so that doesn't do me any good. Oh, ho, ho. Au contraire. Au contraire. No, this puts you in a great position. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag for the last segment. But we need to be listening for things like that. So when we're at these events, we're going to be hearing things that they say and taking our notes in our head and listening for triggers, ways that we can add value. All right, so I don't want to dive into the last segment too much. So let's go back to the title. What problem are you solving? We have to be able to speak that. we have to be able to present that to the people we meet. So what problem are you solving? So let's go back to payroll, right? What problem are you solving? Oh, well, we help businesses process payroll. Well, that's not the problem you're solving. Right? That's just what you do. What is the problem you're solving? Because really, so if you have a business owner who is spending 5 hours a week putting their payroll together and processing their payroll, or even they're paying someone in the office for 5 hours every week to process payroll, what's the problem? So the problem is, so there's a cost to that. Now they may not know they have a problem, but when you show them, hey, here's what's possible. So instead of business owner spending 5 hours a week, that's 20 hours a month processing your own payroll and putting all that work in yourself, you can pay us some amount of money per month to do it for you. Oh, well, no, I don't want to spend money. Well, what problem are you solving? We help business owners recover time so that they can get paid what they're actually worth per hour, so that they can stay focused on running their businesses instead of working in them. So you can have that. It's that simple. It's that simple. So that's the problem you're solving. It's not about, oh, well, we're the cheapest. No, you're helping them recover time. You're taking off of their plate the burden of knowing all the tax laws. You're taking off of their plates the burden of withholding taxes and sending the right amount of money to the right government entities. That's what you're doing. That's the problem you're solving. But we can't solve a problem until we have identified that there is one. And identifying a problem is sometimes as simple as someone saying, hey, I have a problem. But it's also a little more of a challenge when we have to ask questions to uncover that problem. These are probing questions. That's what we're asking. Probing questions. Okay. When we come back, so this is a great segue here. When we come back, we are going to get into our final segment, and this is going to be the big shift, the savvy shift that kind of brings all this together. Right. Again, you are listening to David Wilson, or you might be watching David Wilson, the Business Savage, here on IBGR.Network, as we are focusing on networking and thanking the person who made an impact, the first impact in my life as a child. Thank you to my father, my first networking impact, and that is Dr. George Fraser, with the book Success Runs in Our Race, and that is available through the link in our show notes. So we'll see you on the other side. Sorry. All right, good set, and then we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Thank you, everyone, for riding. I appreciate that. Definitely. Oh, man. And we will be wrapping up in about a minute 30. Make sure you keep the comments coming. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Keep the comments coming. Keep the emojis and the emotes coming. Thank you again for Facebook. Thank you, Facebook. Thank you, YouTube. Thank you, Twitter. Thank you, Twitch. You get a little bit of hydration. This break is brought to you by Body Armor. For hydration in between segments, turn to Body Armor. Armor for your show. All right, 40 seconds to live. Let's wrap this up nicely. Steve, thank you. First-time listeners, thank you. Returning listeners, thank you. 30 seconds to live. We appreciate you very much. This is the second to last show. Savvy Show on IBGR. We'll be wrapping up our season next week. And again, thank you so much. I appreciate it. 15 seconds to live. 10 seconds. Here we go. All right, welcome back to the Savvy Show. I am David Wilson, the Business Savage, here on IBGR.Network Profit Radio. We are by entrepreneurs for entrepreneurs, no matter what stage of business you are in, from pre-startup to startup, from growth to hockey stick growth, which is really, really, really big growth, to slow and steady, nice and easy. We are doing great. We're making a lot of money. Business is going well. We're on cruise control to it is time to sell. We're going to get out of here and we're going to sell all, and we are going to make ferret NFTs. That's a thing. That's a thing. No matter what stage of business you are in, we can help. Come grow with us. Hey, come grow with us. All right, you're listening to The Savvy Show. We are in season 7, the Black History of Business. We are paying homage to an early mentor of mine, the author of Success Runs in Our Race, introduced to me by my father, Rudy Wilson, the author, networker, Dr. George C. Fraser. So thank you, sir. If you go to our show notes, and you want to pick up that book and other books by Dr. Fraser, you can just click on the link that I provided for you, and you can pick that book up. All right. So in the last segment, what problem are you solving? We had a viewer write in talking about people glazing over when she's talking about her business, and she's talking about she'll go to an event and they're just doesn't seem like they're interested. And the advice I gave was to ask more questions and to try to uncover what pain may be there. So what problem are you solving? We also have to be clear about what problem we actually are solving. Very seldom is it about a feature of our business. We need to be focused on the benefits. All right, so ready for the shift? Who's ready for the shift? So the big shift the big shift is, well, let's go back to an acronym. And this is an acronym that is introduced in like sales 101 class, right? in sales 101 class, yes, I'm going to talk about one of the greatest movies never seen because it's relevant. It comes up in sales 101 class. And it's a movie called Glengarry Glen Ross. And there's a scene where Alec Baldwin is playing this big wig from downtown. And he's coming in to straighten out the sales team because the sales team is underperforming. And what he says is, he gives an acronym, ABC. A, always, B, C, closing. Always be closing, always be closing, always be closing, right? And, for most of us, many of us, maybe most, that's networking. That's networking. So when I first started, I was told, go out to a networking event and collect as many business cards as you could. My response, okay, I can do that. Next step, call them all. When you get back, so the following day, call them all and try to sell them something. This is what my manager said to me. So always be closing. Well, what if I don't sell anything? Then go get some more business cards, was his response. This was before I was introduced to B&I. I had no idea what problem I was solving. I was very keen to how to or what our features were. So I knew what we did. I knew, and I certainly knew how much money I made if I sold something, right? But I really wasn't tuned into how. Well, I'll just tell you now. I really wasn't tuned into how I was helping. Not only did I not know what problem I was solving, I had no idea how I was helping. So here's the shift. Instead of trying to sell, we need to start giving. So we need to start giving. So 2 things I want you to take away during with this savvy shift. Okay, 2 things you want to take away. So, and these are the 2 things. If you do these 2 things at every event, you cannot fail. You cannot fail. Now you cannot fail. You may not make a sale, but you cannot fail. So there is no rejection. There is no, because you are doing these 2 things. Number 1, give, right? Give. Keep this in the front of your mind. Give. And I'm just trying to help. Give. And I'm just trying to help. So now go back to our mailbag. Ella from the other segment. If that's your focus, instead of, oh my goodness, I need to tell people as much about my company as possible. I need to tell people as much about our features, the features of my products as possible. You don't even know them. You don't even know if you can help. You don't even know how you can help. So first, give. So you give by doing what? Just having a conversation. Just have a conversation. It's nice to meet you. What do you do? How long have you been in business? Like I said in the previous segment, what keeps you up at night? What is the biggest challenge in your business right now? So we talked about a payroll rep finding out that the biggest challenge in this business owner's life is his car breaking down. That's his biggest challenge right now. That's what keeps him up at night. So ordinarily, if we're ABC, always be closing, we just walk away. It's like, oh yeah, my biggest challenge Right now, what keeps me up at night is my car. I think my car is going to break down. It's just really in disrespect. Okay, that's cool. I'm out because that's not payroll. So I'm trying to make some money. I'm trying to make a commission. And wait, but my car. So you missed an opportunity. Instead, try this. Oh, that sounds terrible. Well, what's wrong with your car? And then let them talk. Let them talk. Oh, now you might be saying, well, what am I supposed to do with this information? This, ladies and gentlemen, is what networking is. All we're doing in networking is giving and trying to help. We are of the mindset that we can only help with what we're offering. So the product or service that we are offering, and that's not true. We can help, and we should be helping. We should be helping with our networks. We should be helping with the people in our networks. This came in from John, and this is relevant to what we're talking about in this segment, John. And he just wrote, is this the whole message that okay. All right, so this is the whole message. So John writes, my networking is not working. That's all he wrote. My networking is not working. And that's one of the easiest ways to really jumpstart your sleeping network is by giving to your sleeping network. So what if in the same scenario, a top of the line mechanic who helps people like Steve maintain their vehicles and can help Steve. Forget about payroll, but can help Steve. And it's like, wow, Steve, that sounds awful. Do you have someone who can help you with your car? No, the last person I had work on my car retired. Oh, wow. Well, would you like to be introduced to someone else who's reputable, someone I've worked with, that may be able to help you? I would love that. Holy cow. You just made a friend. You just made a friend, and I know what you're thinking. I was like, oh, Savvy, I get it now. So I'm going to refer him to the mechanic, and then later on, I'll get the payroll business. No. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. Could that happen? Sure, it could happen. But remember, there's only two things in the front of our minds: give, and I'm just trying to help. You're just trying to help, and you helped him. You helped Steve. If Steve comes back and says, hey, can you do our payroll? That's great. If he doesn't, he doesn't. Maybe someone else will. But keep in mind that the vibrations, energy is neither created nor destroyed. Right? It is simply transferred from one being to another, one form to another. So you will receive that in another form. Simple as that. So thanks to all our folks who wrote in. Thank you to our questions. Hopefully we answered them well for you. You've been listening to David Wilson, the Business Savage, here on IBGR.Network, the Savage Show. Thank you very much for being with me on Season 7 of Black History of Business. Thank you again to Dr. George Fraser for impacting my networking life. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. And we'll see you next time. Savage. Let that breathe, baby. All right, don't get tired. Agent Smith starts to feel the vibrations, you never know, right? Because just all right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for that. Hopefully, Dr. Fraser will get wind of that, and he will certainly appreciate that. Hopefully, I don't think he'll be upset about it, but hopefully he'll appreciate it. Thank you, everyone, for riding with me today. And let me make sure I communicate with downtown. And yeah, thank you. It's been fun. I may have miscalculated something, so I need to make sure I hear from downtown right quick before I look like a L7. And I think I got this right. But anyway, all right. Thanks for the comments. Thanks for all of the posts. Thanks for the share on the party on Twitch. Appreciate that. To Facebook, to LinkedIn, to YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. And that's it. I appreciate also the we had someone comment. Someone picked up on the Glengarry Glen Ross reference. So appreciate that, Ben. Absolutely. You know how we do it. And that's it. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's my time. So enjoy the rest of your day. We'll see you next time. Thank you for joining me. I'm David Wilson, the Business Savage, here on broadcasting to you live from the capital of South Richmond, Virginia, USA, on the Savvy Show. We will see you next time.